Barcelona's tactics are scary again, but it's not in the way that you think. They've gone from losing 3-0 against Chelsea to winning 3 straight matches in a row, and this includes dominant performances against some of the top teams in the league. The latest victim in this run of form came in the shape of Real Betis, as Hansi Flick's side put 5 goals past them in a thrilling 8-goal encounter. But Barcelona looked a different team in this game, and in this video, I'm going to show you why everyone should be scared of Hansi Flick's insane tactics. And the first important piece to the puzzle, guys, we might have discovered Ferran Torres' superpower, because take a look at this. And this. And this. What do you notice? It seems as though Barcelona strikers are most effective when they don't have to touch the ball more than once in order to score. This suited Ferran Torres so well in this game. I mean, these guys scored 3 goals from his first 12 touches in the game. This is a goal every 4 touches. That is insane. It's almost as if he's better off playing off instinct than when he has to take his time to pick a spot. It was an outstanding display that has left everyone wondering, was this performance down to tactics or mentality? I think it's a bit of both. I think that mentally he's felt motivated to respond to all the criticism following the Chelsea game and has done it on the pitch, scoring 4 goals in his last 2 games. But there is a tactical aspect that makes this guy so effective in this game, and that was down to these 3 players. Now, when Hansi Flick made the tactical decision to start Roony Bardghji and Lamine Yamal together in this game, I thought to myself, how is this going to work? Maybe that had something to do with the fact that they are both left-footed, and the last time Barcelona tried this, well, let's just say it didn't go down so well. But boy was I wrong about Lamine Yamal as a number 10 and Roony Bardghji in number 7, because that combination is an absolute winner. Lamine's creativity, Bardghji's speed and urgency, and then the whiff from Jules Koundé completes the trident. It just makes it easy for us to create non-stop chances out on the right. And it was those chances that led to 2 of our 5 goals in this game. But to understand this, let's analyse Barcelona's first goal in the game. Look when Eric Garcia receives possession. Look at the 4 Betis defenders. The right back is covering Rashford. The 2 centre-backs have to stay on Ferran Torres. But when you go over to the right, the left back Diego Gomez has to pick between Lamine Yamal and Roony Bardghji. He chooses to stay on Bardghji because it's closer to the goal. But when the initial pass is deflected, Roony Bardghji is more alive to the loose ball and he passes it out wide to Lamine Yamal. This forces Gomez out of position as he goes over to stop Yamal, but Koundé stretches the play with this intelligent run, so now the left back is outnumbered. He tries to follow the run of Koundé, but Lamine chooses to go inside to Roony Bardghji first. Gomez is confused now, but as he's turning, I want you to look at the shape of Roony Bardghji. Because he's left-footed, he's perfectly positioned to play Koundé in with his first touch. Now there's trouble. The left back, along with the rest of the defensive line, are taken out with that one pass. Ferran Torres spots the danger, runs to the near post. The pass from Koundé is perfect, and Ferran Torres does brilliantly first to get in front of Marc Bartra, and then to direct the ball goalwards with just one deft touch. Perfect team goal, 1-1. But these guys weren't done, because 2 minutes later, these 2 combined for the second. Again, it's the directness of Roony Bardghji taking players on, just like we saw against Olympiacos with his assist for Fermin's goal. It's a similar skill. He beats Gomez, whips in a brilliant ball with his weaker foot, but look at the technique on this finish from Ferran Torres, the way he readjusts his body perfectly to get the right connection on the shot. This was a beauty. 1 touch in, 2-1. Now, speaking of his weaker foot, how about this for a third from Roony Bardghji? Absolutely stunning strike. But he starts off with the brilliance of Pedri, because look how he stops this ball dead in mid-air. He takes it down brilliantly. Now, this is the mark of a true midfield technician. He wants to invite the pressure to free up the space in behind. Altamira falls for it and tries to close him down. As soon as Pedri spots the pressing coming, he turns quickly. Now the space opens up for the pass. Look. He picks out Roony Bardghji, and then it's a brilliant take on his left foot. The defender backs off to block the shot. He moves it over to his right, buying himself a yard, and he unleashes an unstoppable strike. Goalkeeper has no chance at all. 3-1. And this is the tactical brilliance about his inclusion, because teams have started to figure out a way to stop Lamine. Just double up on him, 1 player inside and 1 player on the outside, and they're able to mark him out of the game. But with Roony Bardghji on the pitch providing the whiff, Lamine Yamal can drift inside to the number 10 role. There's less pressure to take people on. He plays with more freedom and is able to be at his creative best. Roony Bardghji also does a lot of pressing on the flanks, which is immensely beneficial to Hansi Flick's counter-pressing system. Everything was working perfectly. The players were working hard on and off the ball, and there was a different type of energy about the team. And speaking of energy, there's no better person that embodies this than Mr. Utility himself, Eric Garcia. Now, this guy's always been good at getting around the pitch and doing the dirty work, but now his touches and ball control has really improved. Only thing that's left now is his shooting. And remember, we saw this in the Champions League against Club Brugge. I think with the way Eric Garcia is playing this season, we might be looking at the perfect balance we spoke about in a previous video. Chaos, control, and penetration. And we witnessed this deployed to great effect in this game with the surprise revelation of these two players. Guys, it's important for any successful team to have a clearly defined strategy. But when it becomes too obvious what your tactics are, you become too predictable and easy for opponents to read. Barcelona have become a little bit predictable in two areas. Number one, conceding first. Guys, we've now conceded first in each of our last 3 games. Now, you might say we went on to win, which is a good thing, but what happens when we meet a team who are impossible to break down once they go ahead? You saw it against Chelsea. Once they scored first, we never recovered the rest of the game. I just don't understand why we have to start games on the back foot. And we can't keep going behind, hoping for a comeback and relying on outscoring opponents, because as we've learned in the past, it's not always going to work. Now, number 2, it's finishing weak. Guys, we've seen this a lot in football. Teams take the foot off the gas when they have a comfortable lead. And it works most of the time because teams just have to sit back, absorb the pressure and punish you on the counter. However, the difference with Barcelona is we can't play in a low block. That is the one thing we just aren't great at doing. It's not in our DNA and we don't have the players for it. But what we do have the players for is control. Killing a game off with possession. We saw this from Frankie de Jong and Pedri against Newcastle, where it was executed to perfection. In recent games, once we take Pedri off, we lose control. We invite the pressure and slowly we start to let teams back in the game. That's exactly what we did in this game. We opened the door, inviting the pressure from Betis, and within 5 minutes, they got 2 goals. First, it was from a corner and then a penalty. 2 lazy goals we had no business conceding. It was sloppy from Kubasi at the far post, but even worse, it was careless from Koundé giving up this penalty with a reckless tackle on Abde. I've said this time and time again, Hansi Flick needs to drill these players on how to stay switched on until the final whistle, or else this could happen again at some point in the season. Okay, I don't know if you noticed, but Ferran wasn't so great after coming on. It was a couple of poor decisions and Lamine Yamal was visibly furious with him on a number of occasions. I know Ferran is young and eager to prove himself, but when you come back from an injury, you need to give yourself time. This is competitive football. You don't just come back and go straight to 100%. You need to give yourself time to get back to speed and catch up to the pace of the game. But here is a player who was absolutely brilliant after coming on, and that is Marc Bernal. I mean, this kid is absolutely sensational, and it's a pity it's been a difficult season and we don't want to rush him back considering he's been out for such a long time due to injury. But when he does get back to full fitness, boy, do we have a gem on our hands. Okay, that's where I'm going to leave it for today because I need to go and prepare for the game against Frankfurt on Tuesday. Make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on what is going to be a packed December on the channel. Feel free to leave your comments down below and tell me what you thought of the team's performance. Thank you all for your amazing support. See you soon and Visca El Barça.